This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Arizona. I'm here with Collen Biggs. Since 2018, this award-winning consultant is helping you move from surviving to thriving while recognizing your strengths that make you unstoppable to drive revenue in your professional life. I'm joined here with Collen, who basically is leader, coach, speaker, author, so many titles. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Gary, it's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
You bet. Collen, you have a vast experience in business, franchises, real estate. You're now a performance consultant, helping launch over 350 businesses. You're the founder and the CEO of the Leap community. You've built an online community of 3,000 plus women, entrepreneurs, as you teach, be it in person or by podcast, online, or stages across the globe. Share with me a little bit how this got started for you.
Thank you so much, Gary. I'm going to date myself and go way back, to 2003. And I stepped into an office of a business called The Little Gym. And what I loved so much about this business called The Little Gym was a gentleman started this business to bring children together 4 months to 12 years of age. And he wanted them to be able to be seen, be heard, be able to be themselves authentically in this safe and nurturing environment. And he taught children motor skills, all the basic fundamentals in life, how to fail safely, how to listen to teachers, how to take direction, how to share, how to be able to, be with other kids. And it was a concept that I loved so much. And over the course of about 22 years, I was able to work with individual business owners to bring this environment to all their communities across the entire world. One thing that came out of that was this: we need to tell everybody about our business. It's not a we'll build it and they will come. We have to be visible. We have to tell everyone about it. And even when you pierce into a community, you need to let them know you're there. So for me, it was huge to create a community for women and build my practice off of allowing women to be seen, be heard, and be visible.
We're not all as lucky as Kevin Costner. We can't just build it and they come from everywhere. Do you feel maybe not everyone is called to be a leader, and yet for those that who are, the call is only half the battle. Would you say that many are not given the support and the resources necessary really to make it happen and successfully answer that call?
Yeah, Gary, it's so unfortunate in corporate America today. And I saw this for my 30 years in corporate America. So many leaders are unrecognized. They're on the bottom level. And because they motivate, they inspire, they take care of the person to their left, they take care of the person to their right. They're the true leaders. And so many people are put into positions that have a title, that say they're a leader, but they're not. And they struggle to have people follow them. They struggle to be able to inspire and motivate those followers. And if we could, heed the call in corporate America and be putting people in positions that care about people, that take care of others, that's the number one thing that we should be focusing on. So I know this, Gary, and I know you do this just like I do. If we show another person that we can move a mountain, and we show another person how much we care, and we show that we can build success and be happy with collaboration over competition, then others will feel that they can come along and do the same. So we must be the leaders to show what's possible first.
That is totally true. Obviously, movement and activity do not equal success. As an entrepreneur myself, I've felt overwhelmed before by the hustle and bustle in my day to day life. Is strategic wealth building critical, really, to move beyond just surviving?
It is. You cannot build wealth unless you understand how money works. I meet so many female entrepreneurs and they really don't understand how money works. They discount, 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 discount. And they think that the more I discount, because I offer, I'm asking for a very small amount of money, I'm going to get a lot of people take advantage of that. It's actually just the opposite. If you pay $30,000 for something, you have a high expectation of what you're going to put into that and what you're going to receive. If you pay $30 for something, most of the time people, that's a Netflix stream every month. They're not even paying attention to it coming out of their bank account. So in order to build the wealth, you need to understand money. One, two, you need to understand how money can work for you. So understanding how money can work for you, leveraging relationships with other people so that they're driving clients to you and you're not out there doing the hustle, like you said. I have this thing about attracting clients. I even wrote a book on it, how to step into the spotlight and expand your influence by being authentic and getting out there with what I do, what I know, offer the value that I have. And this is what I've been able to do in the past with these clients. You will only attract those that you desire to work with at that point. And the other thing is understanding the long-term gain on working with money. You need to understand how investing that money in different portfolios. I work with my women entrepreneurs a lot in how to create passive income streams, how to create investments with real estate and so many other things so that they're not just trading time for money.
Absolutely. You can't attract what you don't know about. You need to know the basics of money for sure. I mean, as an entrepreneur, I'd say many would agree with me. The struggle is real. Struggle between more time or more money. It does exist. Yet, you say that you can have them both. I mean, is that a strategy that can be taught? And how do you start that process with your clients?
Oh, I'm glad you said that because I am finding many, well, this is men and women, but I solely work with women. So that's why I talk a lot about women entrepreneurs. They are like, I'm so busy. There isn't anything more I could possibly fit in my day. And I say, what are you really working on in your day that's moving the needle in your business? They're doing a lot of things that aren't needed, that really aren't going to drive income, that aren't going to get them the exposure they need. So I have this plug in, plug out method that I use with my clients. And that's plug in to your day and have those things mapped out and time blocked on your schedule that you need to be working on that drive that revenue, that are getting you that exposure, that are going to be an ROI. And then you unplug so that you have the time to spend with family, with friends, with loved ones. My husband and I cook dinner every night together. I have 7 children that are grown and 12 grandchildren. So how do I build an empire and still have time to spend with my family? It's really about priority of time. And when I am plugged in, making sure that those efforts and those things that I'm doing daily are the things that are going to create an ROI for me.
That is interesting. And you have over a quarter of a century of experience where you have really recognized maybe what a lot of other women have not. Share with me a little bit part of your teaching when it comes to zones, the zone of excellence or the zone of genius. Explain that difference for me.
Well, I'll tell you this. Simple. The zone of excellence is something that you love to do every day. It's easy for you. It's common sense for you and not commonplace for somebody else. Your zone of genius is generally uncomfortable. When you're working in your zone of genius, you are to a place where it is a little bit of uncomfortability because you're putting yourself out there raw and exposed and vulnerable for everybody to see. You're taking on projects that you in the past would never have taken on before. These are what you would call almost out of your reach, and you don't think you deserve to be there. So there is a level of you being able to accept who you are and realizing that I might not know how to do it right now, but I'm stepping into this and I'm going to do it. And that also means, Gary, saying no to some of the things that are in your zone of excellence. Because if we have a full plate, we can't step into our zone of genius and still operate at our zone of excellence 100% of the time. So you're going to have to drop off some of those. So, if you're still trading time for money, you might say, well, I really want to take that contract. That's $30,000. But what you know for sure is that's not my zone anymore. That's my zone of excellence. I'm now in my zone of genius. So if I wait it out, I know that contract could be $120,000.
I've never heard it explained like that before. That's kind of exciting, and obviously something people need to look at more. Let me ask you this, Colleen. If you, I think if you're great at what you do, you deserve more clients. Yet, we have both seen great talent go out of business. I mean, the stats out there, they're basically explaining that without self promotion, self marketing, we have an 80% chance of failing. I mean, how do your books teach us to step up and step into that spotlight where we're going to be known and recognized?
Yeah, I like to use this analogy. Have you ever pulled up to a building, a brick and mortar building that didn't have a sign on it, and just knocked on the door and walked in to say, "Hey, what do you do here in this business?" No, the answer to that's no. So if you wouldn't build a building in brick and mortar and not put a sign on it to tell people who you are and what you do, then why do so many owners of businesses build these businesses, have all these services and products, but they hide in the corner with a bag on their head, if you want me to be honest, or they become keyboard warriors? You have to get out there and be seen everywhere in all types of outlets. So podcasts, radio, TV, you've got to be seen on social media, all social media outlets, videos, stills, marketing. I could go on and on. If we do not show who we are and drive people to our website. Some people have beautiful websites that they've spent $20,000 to build and zero SEO. It drives me crazy. You're not driving anybody to your website. You have no links that are working that drive people. You're not driving them to that main hub. So again, it is so important for us to get exposure for ourselves in any way possible. And in that book, you're going to find ways to do that on YouTube, to be a YouTube influencer, how to upload videos, how to be an Instagram influencer, how to use the stage to sell and enroll people into your community and into your programs from stage. You're going to learn how to create a vision for you to be able to stay very anchored to that vision. So many entrepreneurs get off track, Gary, and they start going down the road, and then it gets a little hard, or there's a shiny object over here, and before you know it, they've gone off and veered to a different path. So you become the expert in the industry when you do what you do and stay in your lane. That's what you become known for. Too many people are out there like, oh, well, now I'm going to try this, and then now I'm going to try that. And we know Sarah Blakely did Spanx, period. That's the business she was in until she wasn't. So if she was selling cosmetics and then over here making bracelets, everyone would be so market confused. They wouldn't know what she stood for. We knew exactly what she made, what she stood for, and her line of products. So I just use that as an example. We need to stay the line on what we do in our zone.
That is interesting. I mean, no matter what kind of magic or exceptional service happens inside of that brick and mortar, with no signage on the outside, nobody's coming in. And that to me is really a shame, because a lot of God given talent is going to waste, and that's frustrating. Tony Robbins says that a life worth living is worth documenting. How do the Be You, Be Strong journals assist in that journey, and why is that important?
I'm glad you said that, because I was taught so many years ago that we need to start our day every single day in gratitude. That if we were to wake up and be in gratitude, not just say thank you to someone who opened a door for you, or thank you to a waitress or a waiter who was a wonderful service, but really live in gratitude. Negativity cannot live in the same space as gratitude. It just can't. So you start your day with really writing down the 10 things that you're most thankful for. And that's why I created these journals. I wanted women and men to be able to have a space where every single day they were prompted to write down their 10 gratitudes for the morning, and also be prompted on, what am I going to do for me today, and what am I going to do for somebody else today? Sometimes we get too consumed in either doing too much for other people, that we neglect ourselves, especially if you're a female and you're a mother, or we might go the opposite direction and get so consumed and egotistical within ourselves and who we are and what we need, that we forget about other needs of people around us. So that's how those journals really support that role. And I'll tell you what, if you are not happy and you are not fueled by what you do every day, you need to have a different career, and you need to do something different, because I love waking up every day and doing what I do because it fuels me. It fuels every fiber of my being.
That's interesting. I mean, as a best-selling author, your books provide inspiration, great strategies that yourself and others have used. I mean, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, folks. So when a person truly wants to make things happen, how can a business coach really take a business idea and make it a reality and even maybe scale it to wealth?
Yeah. Well, we're just going to start with the first letter in the alphabet and the number one word. It's accountability. It's the number one thing that most people need. It's why there are personal trainers out there. Myself, I was a personal trainer. I'm a first degree black belt. I couldn't have gotten there without my personal accountability master inside the dojo pushing me and teaching me on what I needed to learn. A business coach is no different. There is not a parent out there that I know, including myself, that would have dropped their children off at a soccer field, at a baseball field, in a basketball court without a coach and said, have a good time, kids. They're not going to learn it. So having a coach, number one, is the accountability, which is the biggest factor when you're held accountable to someone to reach your goals, to go where you're going. The second thing in that is sometimes we just don't know what we don't know, Gary. And when you know it, it's like, okay, now what are you going to do with that knowledge? And there's a lack of clarity in there most of the time, and they struggle with really seeing clearly how it's possible for them to do something because they've been sitting in their zone of excellence for a really long time.
I mean, let's face it, Colleen, a side hustle, I mean, it's cute, but scaling that to 6 or 7 figures, that's beautiful. I mean, searching for the answers on our own, I mean, that can be time consuming, a resource that almost no one has too much of. How can business coaching really accelerate my success and help me use the best use of time?
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. My husband and I had this conversation about 2 years ago before he hired a business coach. And he said, I don't want to invest in a business coach. And I said, well, then you can sit and build your business on your own year after year after year. It's just like dipping a little bit into the business. And over 5 years, you'll probably get it to what you could have gotten into in 6 months or a year of working with a business coach. Today, he has a business coach, by the way, Gary. Today's day and age, I'm just going to say we want instant gratification. Now, give it to me now. So it's one of the best times to align yourself either with some type of mentor, some type of coach, some type of sponsor, depending upon if you're in corporate America, right? You need to leverage your relationships with other people to get where you need to go. It is always about who you know, not always about what you know. So when you leverage yourself with a business coach, they are extremely connected with other people, and their Rolodex is full of techniques and resources and connections. And that is also one of the biggest pieces that you get when you work with a business coach.
Absolutely. I mean, as a business owner, many have used a life coach, but a business path that's unique. I mean, although there is an overlap, do many realize that they've outgrown their life coach and that maybe that's a good thing to recognize? Business coach is specific. Is that critical to recognize that difference?
It is. And I've always said this, your business can only grow to the extent that you do. And I even have it on my website. I am not a life coach, but there is so much overlap, Gary, that happens with that because it's, again, do you remember when I talked about stepping from your zone of excellence to your zone of genius? There's a lot of self-sabotage, disbelief that happens. There's so many authors that have written, even like the Harry Potter books. And she said, this is the book that they're going to find out I'm an imposter and I don't know what I'm doing. So at every single level, no matter what we're doing, we need someone there that can believe in us when we don't believe in ourselves and can share and reinforce to us the skill sets that we have, what we possess, and really keep us moving along when we struggle. So that's what a business coach is going to do. They're also going to give you business advice. Someone like me who has 22 years of experience, you can't get that in college. So I've been in the trenches with the business owners. I've seen everything happen from successes to failures to being shut down by a city. I've seen it all happen for every owner. And that experience is valuable. And you need to make sure that you're interviewing a coach that's the right fit for you. I work with people that are action oriented. I work with people that are wanting to grow, that are willing to put in the time to grow their businesses. I'm not willing on dragging a sack of potatoes through quicksand. Not going to happen on my watch.
That is great. I mean, in business, there's no magic bullet when it comes to promotion and marketing. How important is utilizing technology, like you said earlier, that of social media, podcasts, local media? I mean, even this TV show, is it important to place you in that spotlight so you are the go-to person in your industry? Do you enjoy the new technologies that weren't even around back 20 some years ago?
Yeah, I was using Zoom when Zoom wasn't cool, right? We had GoToMeeting back in the day where we would get on and have phone calls with people and just listen in. And I was using Zoom back in the day because I needed to record some of the videos before we ever hit the pandemic. So I've been working remotely using technology with clients for over 20 some years. And,
Okay.
I think it's very important for us to realize that we can reach anybody in the entire world and work with them, and you don't have to necessarily, dependent upon your service and your product, be local. So it's the technology has given us the opportunity to spread across the world, to be able to work with people that need our services. And like I always say, there's someone out there praying, for you to show up for them. And most people will hear the same information over and over and over again, Gary, but when they hear it from you, that's when they get impacted. They need to hear it from you. And we've all experienced it, right? Where someone said, I've told you that for 10 years. And you're like,
Right.
never heard it from you. I needed to hear it from this other person. So you have to get out there on every platform, because that is how you're seen everywhere.
That is so true. I mean, the World Wide Web, social media, that was a game changer when it comes to sharing information. Tell us about the Leap community and how it's a game changer for many, for those folks out there who want to be in business for themselves, but not by themselves.
Yeah. I know this for sure. When we're in corporate America, we have the support of other divisions around us, other market heads around us. We have the opportunity to come to a board table and be able to have discussions, right? The company heads are coming together on a regular basis to grow that business, to scale that business. Yet as entrepreneurs, we just hang out on some little island out there thinking we can do this on our own. And it can be done, but it's really, really hard. And why do it, right? Why do it? A CEO does not sit up in his ivory tower and just run that business on his own. He has so many other people consulting with him. So in that case, as entrepreneurs, I wanted to create a community. And, I really believe in taking the leap. It's an important thing to know. I'm taking a risk. This is a risk for me to do this business, and I'm willing to give it everything I've got and, land on my 2 feet. So this is a business building community for passion-filled female entrepreneurs who are really willing and want to get their brands out in front of other people, to be seen, to be heard, to be visible. They want to network and collaborate. They're building businesses and making money in this community, collaborating with other women. They're showing up on spotlights and training, and they're showing everyone everything they've got on a regular basis. And that's why I put this together, because the more support we have and collaboration we have, the quicker we can move in building that strategic wealth.
So obviously membership has its benefits. We're talking about insider secrets, master classes, networking, live events. Technology really has given us access to a mastermind, if you will, a group of other people you can tap into. The Leap community, I mean, this is the support we spoke of earlier that many did not or do not have to answer that call to leadership. Is this really the foundation to what you hope to leave behind, your legacy, to empower others beyond you and after you?
It really is, Gary. I'm so passionate about women, and knowing, being a mother myself and having a career and building a business, I know how pulled we feel in so many directions, and women need to just see other women move those mountains. And when they see it's possible, then they're willing to do the same. And so many of them out there are just afraid to really step into what is possible for them. And but they have so much to offer, so much to offer. So that is my legacy, is changing the blueprint of women in business in the future.
That is exciting. We're very happy to bring that message to our viewers as well. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website. On the website, first of all, you'll learn more about this author, coach, and international speaker who is teaching Master You to master your success. I mean, with proven strategies for the CEO all the way down to the small business owner. Check out the testimonials. She has a blog there as well. Great social media pages, podcast. I mean, if you're an individual, you can set up a consultation call right there online. But really, if you're a business and you want to bring that power to your team, you can book her as an international speaker. She's gone out there and done this as well. She's been named Local Business Person of the Year and Top 10 Women Business Leaders. Once again, that is Collen Biggs, helping you lead with enhanced acceleration to reach your peak performance. Be you. Be strong. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.